everybody! Welcome to the Cooking for Kids program here at Hillsville Library on the lands of the Wurundjeri people, whom of which I'd like to pay my respects to the elders, past, present and emerging. Today we're going to make a gluten-free apple cake. It's actually dairy-free too. Here's a list of the ingredients. So before we get started, I'm going to run you through a few things that we're doing in the method of this recipe. First thing you'll need to do is ask an adult to pop the oven on for you at about 180 or 160 degrees. So 180 if it's not a fan forced oven and 160 degrees if it is a fan forced oven. The next thing you'll need to do is get the baking tray ready. So for this apple cake we're using a spring form cake tin. That's this one here. You can see it's got a spring on the side, and you need to have it lined with some baking paper and greased with some butter or some cooking spray. So once this is ready, sitting here and the oven's warming up, you could measure out your ingredients and you could put them in two separate sections. The first section will be the wet ingredients that we're going to put in the beater first, and the second set of ingredients will be the dry ingredients which come in later. So for step one, we're going to put 4 ingredients into our mixer. The ingredients is the coconut sugar, 3 eggs, hold on to those shells, any shell in? I got a little bit of shell in. I'm going to have to fish it out. That's better. I've fished out the shell. So we're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence. Got a measure of 1 teaspoon here. So we've got 1 and we've got 2. And the last one, I've left it till last because it's the hardest. It's the honey. Honey can be icky and sticky and hard to transfer from one place to another. But this spatula is actually a really good help. Look at that beautiful color of that golden honey. Oh, I love it. I love the bees that make the honey. And I love the blossoms that the bees use. All right. Yeah, that's not too bad. There's a tiny bit there, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is place the mixer whisk down into the ingredients, and we're going to turn it on and we're going to whisk the ingredients for 5 minutes, and they're going to double in size. So let's watch this. Woohoo! Look at it go! 5 minutes. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes and the mixture is about double in size. So now it's time to slowly pour in the olive oil. In a slow and steady stream. And it's just getting whisked up into the mixture with all the other ingredients. This is a good exercise in patience. Nearly there, drip, drip, drip. Alrighty. And there you have it. So I've just turned the mixer off and I'm going to lift up the whisk out of the bowl. And then I'm going to take the bowl away. Twist and lift it off. And then I'm going to add the other ingredients, except for the sliced apple. The sliced apple actually goes on top after this step. So let's start with the almond meal, gluten-free flour, the grated Granny Smith apple, the cinnamon and the baking powder. Okay, so it's all in the bowl. I'm going to use a spatula and mix it all together. It's looking good. Bit of different consistency at the moment, so I think that means I need to keep mixing until it's all the same consistency. And make sure that all the dry and all the wet are combined together. Looks pretty good. I think it looks good. Does it look good, Anita?
It does.
It does? It looks good. Okay. Ready for the next step. Get our cake tin and pop it in. Gosh, this spatula is coming in handy for me today. Utensil of the day is the spatula. Very nice and fluffy mix. That's because of the 5 minutes at the start, fluffing those eggs and sugars and honey together. It really gives it quite a light, like a light texture. And I'm just trying to make it quite even, so I want my cake to look nice and round and flat on the top. Not too many rickety racketies. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. So now the mixture's nice and flat in the tin. I'm going to use the slices of apple and I'm going to make a spiral shape from the outwards going in with these slices, one at a time. It's a little bit fiddly, but well worth the effort. Now that I've assembled my apple in lovely places, I'm going to drizzle some honey over the top, and I'm going to do it in circles, trying to get some honey all around the place, not big blobs, just a thin stream. And I might get a little bit more, try and make it flow. Here we go. Alright, we've got a good flow. This is actually way easier to do with maple syrup, but that's not what this recipe says, so there we go, done. And now I'm going to take the cake tin over to the oven and cook it for 55 minutes. So guys, I'd like to share some fun facts about apples. Seeing as we made an apple cake, I bought the apples from the supermarket today because there are no apples on the tree at the moment. This is what is on the tree of an apple tree at the moment. we've got its beautiful blossoms. And I'm lucky enough to have a couple of apple trees at home, so I brought a couple of blossoms to show you. That was the first one, and here's another one. So different varieties will come in different colors and shapes. The other thing I wanted to share with you about the apple trees is that, you know, you can see that they're a bit bare at the moment, but they've started to sprout all these leaves. And we actually need the tree to create the leaves that give the energy to create the apple. And I found out a fun fact that it takes about 50 leaves making the energy to make the apple, one apple. 50 leaves, one apple, whole tree. So it's been 55 minutes and it's time to get the cake out of the oven. Here it is. I'm going to pop it on the cooling rack and leave it for 10 minutes because it's extremely hot. So while that's cooling down, I might go and read a book. So after it cooled down and I took it out of the tin, there was burnt around the side. I made a bit of a mistake there, but that's okay, you live and learn. There was an easy fix. It was just to take away the burnt bits with a knife on the edges and then put it on a lovely display plate. And now we're going to garnish it with some icing sugar, which is also going to give it a really fancy look. So just going to put some icing sugar in here and then get the teaspoon to push it through, kind of like snow. I'm just going to go around cake and in the middle a bit. And voila! I've taken a slice and put some coconut yogurt on the side, and it's time for the taste. Very nice, very nice.